Well, he said that I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's island. I didn't. I mean, he's a lightweight. This guy. He's a terrible. I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. I watched part of it.
Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone.
In a quiet studio late at night, laughter cuts through the air sharper than any courtroom order. Tonight, Trevor Noah readies his humor like a finely tuned weapon and takes aim directly at Donald Trump's latest headline. Is it pure comedy, a form of collective therapy, or a clever act of political judo? The audience cannot help but laugh, wince, and lean in as every line lands with perfect precision. Yet the real surprise comes when one unexpected clip changes everything they thought they knew. Stay tuned, because this roast soon turns into a stunning revelation no one sees coming.
She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki,
Before the jokes continue, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because you will not want to miss what comes next. Trevor Noah comes out swinging, skipping the safe or polite humor and diving straight into the kind of sharp comedy built from years of watching Donald Trump treat reality as something flexible and optional.
For Guy Fawkes Day, and then your parents would be like, do you want these ones? You're like, do you like them? They're like, no, just throw them on the ground. I was like, pat, pat, pat. Do you feel like the other kids? No, I don't at all. So Iran has those ones, and then they're launching back and forth, back and forth, back. And the whole world was like, man, this again, Middle East conflict, Middle East. And then, at the peak of it, everyone was like, man, how could this get worse? Donald Trump was like, hello.
Trevor wastes no time warming up. He dives straight into the roast, casually pointing out that Trump carries himself not like a former president, but like someone who accidentally wandered onto the world stage, still convinced he was shooting a reality show.
Did you ever have Trump on the show?
No, we never did.
He did say some bad things about you on.
I don't know. I don't keep up with it.
Yeah, I do. I keep up with it. Yeah,
yeah, but you have like a feud with him. You have like a real. So here's what I've noticed. Like Trump's annoyance at people is directly proportional to how big they were when he like focused on the media. Does that make sense?
I see. Yeah, right.
So like Time Magazine is still the biggest thing in his life, and then obviously Jimmy Kimmel, SNL. If they insult him, he gets really angry about it.
Yeah.
I'm so new to him that he's.
Without missing a beat, Trevor describes Trump as a man who believes volume equals victory, as if yelling loudly enough could somehow turn confusion into competence.
He was like, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna totally de-escalate this situation. I'm gonna de-escalate this situation. And we were like, my man, you've never de-escalated a thing in your life. In your life. From your hair to your politics, nothing is a de-escalation. Nothing. But Trump came in and he's like, I don't like how Iran and Israel are launching bombs at each other all the time.
He jokes that Trump speaks like a malfunctioning megaphone powered entirely by ego, blasting unfinished thoughts into the world and daring anyone to question him without being branded an enemy. Each comparison lands cleanly, delivered with a calm confidence that makes every punchline sting even more. Trevor mocks how Trump treats leadership, saying it looks less like governing and more like hosting an extravagant, dangerous improv show where no one knows the script, yet Trump insists it is flawless. Trevor suggests Trump never truly wanted to lead a nation. He simply craved a larger stage, brighter lights, and louder applause than ever before. When he discusses Trump's confidence, Trevor portrays it as fragile, painted in gold to look strong but cracking under real pressure. He explains that Trump behaves like someone who cannot last 5 minutes without praise, even as he pretends not to care what anyone thinks.
Since you left the show, are you experiencing feelings of depression, anxiety, hopelessness? Is it?
You know what? I'm good. I miss the vibe. You know, like days like today. Obviously, you know, you watch Trump at a rally and he's dancing for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I miss that.
You miss that, yeah.
Yeah, because that's just free content. That's like one of those things where you go like, wow. Well, but for the most part, no. I'm traveling more. I'm enjoying being on the road. I get time to write books, try other things.
This time, Trevor shifts to Trump's relationship with truth, describing it as more of a creative hobby than a genuine responsibility. He says Trump treats facts like suggestions that can be rewritten whenever they are inconvenient, twisting reality to fit whatever sounds best at the moment. Watching Trump debate, Trevor says, feels like watching someone flip a chessboard, shout checkmate, and walk away convinced they're brilliant. He points out that Trump's obsession is not with progress, but with victory, any victory he can claim and demand credit for. Trevor touches on Trump's connection with the media, calling it a dramatic love-hate dance where he pretends to despise attention while secretly craving it more than anything. Trevor jokes that Trump would complain about press coverage even if every headline praised him.
Too many bombs, too many bombs. We gotta stop it. No more bombs, no more bombs. We gotta stop it. We gotta fix it. And they're like, all right, how are you gonna fix it? He's like, by dropping bombs. I'm gonna drop bombs. And no one expected it. Like the whole world was like, okay, Trump is gonna mediate, or because he said to them, hey guys, let's sort this out, peace deal. We're gonna do a peace deal. And then he dropped bombs on Iran. And everyone in the world was like, what the hell?
As the roast deepens, Trevor focuses on Trump's worldview, saying he treats global politics like a high school popularity contest instead of serious diplomacy. He describes Trump at international meetings as the awkward relative who breaks every rule, yet still believes he is the star of the room. Trevor circles back to personality, noting that beneath the loud confidence lies a deep fear of being ignored. He suggests Trump is terrified of silence, terrified of fading from attention, and terrified of not being the center of every story. The humor sharpens as Trevor mentions accountability, letting the crowd laugh while recognizing uncomfortable truths. Trevor then grows slightly reflective, saying Trump represents not just a person, but a symptom of how spectacle can replace substance in modern politics. Still, he reminds everyone that Trump chose chaos every single time. Trevor then explores how Trump handles expertise, treating it as an inconvenience rather than an asset. He paints a picture of a man who would rather trust his gut than listen to scientists, economists, or generals, people who actually know what they are talking about. Trevor explains that Trump seems to believe that if he feels something strongly enough, reality will rearrange itself to match his emotions. It is an amusing philosophy for a child, but terrifying for a leader. Trevor compares Trump to someone walking into a hospital, ignoring every doctor, and declaring himself healthy because he once watched a medical drama. The audience laughs, but the image lingers because it feels both absurd and true. Trevor argues that Trump did not reject experts.
As president, oh, he was even cockier. Yeah. You see him when he came out, Donald J. Trump? Oh, he had all the swag. He was like, folks, we're gonna have it handled. In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days. Some are even saying 20.
Because he had better ideas, but because he saw them as threats instead of allies. He then mocks how Trump handled criticism, saying even the smallest disagreement felt to him like a declaration of war. Trevor explains that Trump never debated, he fought, not with logic, but with insults, accusations, and over-the-top outrage. He jokes that Trump could not admit being wrong about anything, even the weather, without turning it into a feud with the clouds. Trevor describes Trump's relationship with mistakes as a masterclass in denial, portraying him as someone who would trip over his own shoelaces and accuse the floor of sabotage. The humor stays sharp, but Trevor makes sure the message lands. Leadership demands accountability. He says that in Trump's world, truth mattered less than loyalty, and reality mattered less than applause. Trevor broadens the point, explaining how Trump reshaped political culture, making shouting seem stronger than reason, and outrage more valuable than solutions. He adds that many of Trump's supporters did not just follow him, they performed for him, competing to prove who could be the most loyal, like contestants in a dystopian game show.
My life, we're like, oh man, I can't believe that Trump did this. I can't believe, and they were so stressed. And I was like, yes, but look on the bright side. And they were like, what bright side? I was like, on the bright side, Trump also can't believe that he did this. Like that's the one glimmer of hope that I get from Donald Trump, is that like he also doesn't know what he's doing. He's in it with us, which is a nice change. Oftentimes we're at the mercy of those in power, but he's in the mercy with us. Like we're.
Trevor circles back to Trump himself, calling him a master of spectacle who understood television better than policy. He explains how Trump turned every press conference into an episode, every decision into a cliffhanger, and every controversy into must-see drama. Trevor admits it was entertaining, but disastrous for actual governance. He jokes that when faced with serious issues, Trump reacted like someone frantically searching for answers online while pretending to already know everything. The audience laughs, but beneath the humor, Trevor's tone carries weight. He transitions into Trump's obsession with legacy, saying Trump cared more about how history would remember him than what he accomplished in office. Trevor paints a picture of a man chasing headlines, monuments, and admiration while ignoring the real problems affecting millions. Trevor then plays with the idea of Trump's legacy, suggesting it will be defined not by achievements but by the chaos he left behind. He imagines future historians struggling to explain to students how such a surreal era even happened. The roast turns personal as Trevor explores what drives Trump, saying that
Every time Donald Trump answers a question, you know he doesn't know the answer because he answers it like he's a contestant in one of his own beauty pageants. That's how he answers it. Every time you see Donald Trump on TV, you can see he's making it up as he's going along. They'll be like, Mr. President, can you tell us about your healthcare rollout and how pre-existing conditions are going to be covered? I know. We're going to have so much coverage, folks. The best coverage. All the coverage. I'm going to get it. All of it. It's going to be so good. Great.
Beneath the bravado lies a deep fear of being ordinary. Trump, he says, cannot simply exist. He must dominate every room, every headline, every moment. He frames this as insecurity disguised as power. He contrasts Trump with genuine leadership, then sharpens the humor again by saying Trump treated elections like a game he could only play if he won. He jokes that Trump seemed to believe the rules of democracy were flexible suggestions meant just for him. The laughter rolls, but the gravity settles, making clear that such an attitude threatens democracy itself. Just when it feels like the dust is settling, Trevor widens the view to show how Trump changed politics as a whole. He explains that insults replaced discussion, drama replaced dialogue, and division became a deliberate tactic. Trevor suggests that even Trump's critics were forced to speak louder and angrier.
About the value of his properties for decades to defraud the banks into giving him better loans, right? And these are not small amounts. They're not small amounts. For instance, Mar-a-Lago was worth $75 million. And what did Trump say it was worth? $740 million. How? Because I upgraded it, folks. Yeah. Totally upgraded. I added a rec room. It's got a foosball table and everything.
Because subtlety no longer worked. Turning back to the audience, he acknowledges how many people grew exhausted by the chaos of those years. Trevor admits that even those who enjoyed mocking Trump likely felt relief when the noise finally began to fade. Yet he reminds everyone that Trump's influence did not disappear when he left office. The attitudes and behaviors he normalized continue to shape political conversation to this day. As the tension builds towards its peak, Trevor imagines Trump watching somewhere, arms crossed and pretending not to care, while secretly hanging on every word. He jokes that Trump would dismiss the roast in public, but replay it in private, furious yet captivated by the attention. Trevor reflects on why Trump makes such a perfect subject for satire, explaining that his mix of confidence, chaos, and contradiction feels almost unreal. He says comedians don't invent Trump's absurdity, they simply hold up a mirror. In his final stretch, Trevor balances humor with truth, reminding everyone that while Trump is easy to laugh at, the systems that empowered him deserve serious thought. He leaves the stage to roaring applause.
Has been found guilty of 17 counts of tax fraud and other financial crimes. And you know what that means? Donald Trump is going to prison to visit all the lower-ranking people who did this without his knowledge or his permission. Yeah, because we all know that's how that works in the world, right? All the successes in Trump's organization, they're due to the genius of
Not just because the roast was ruthless, but because it felt painfully, brilliantly honest. Trevor slows his pace just enough for the room to catch its breath. The roast doesn't lose intensity, it gains weight. He stands calmly and explains that the goal is not to humiliate Trump, but to strip away the illusion that noise equals leadership or showmanship equals success. Trevor reflects on how the Trump years felt like a wild carnival, thrilling, chaotic, and dangerously unstable, where laughter and disbelief became survival tools. Comedy, he said, was how people made sense of the madness without falling apart. He admits that while he enjoyed roasting Trump, he also wished there had been fewer reasons to do it, because every joke came from real chaos that affected real lives. Finally, Trevor returns to Trump one last time, not with anger, but with precision. He describes him as a man who built his identity around.
He also claimed that his 11,000 square foot apartment was actually 30,000 square feet, which was a lie. So this man is going to be the first person to ever get in legal trouble for claiming his apartment is a grower, not a shower. And I've got to say, it would be so funny if this is what takes Trump down, huh? Can you imagine? He tried to overthrow the government, but then they get him for lying about having an in-unit washer-dryer. It's like, that's the thing.
Being untouchable, yet constantly proved how fragile that image truly was. Trevor says Trump's greatest opponent was never others, it was his own ego. He imagines Trump watching the roast, pretending not to care, while quietly seething, convinced that ignoring criticism will make it vanish. Trevor makes clear that comedy should sharpen minds, not dull them. As he brings everything full circle, he says Trump may have wanted to be remembered as a giant of history, but he will more likely be remembered as a cautionary tale wrapped in chaos. Trevor ends with a knowing smile, not cruelty, acknowledging that even jokes can teach. His final line lands clean and certain. If Trump truly wanted greatness, he should have spent less time demanding applause and more time earning respect.
Oh my God.
Wow! So amazing! So amazing, I can feel it.
Oh my God.
Hitting me!
Oh my God.
In all different places. So many places! Are there two of us right now? You're looking at yourself.
Trevor makes clear that comedy should sharpen minds, not dull them. As he brings everything full circle, he says Trump may have wanted to be remembered as a giant of history, but he will more likely be remembered as a cautionary tale wrapped in chaos. Trevor ends with a knowing smile, not cruelty, acknowledging that even jokes can teach. His final line lands clean and certain. If Trump truly wanted greatness, he should have spent less time demanding applause and more time earning respect.